Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. As you can see, I'm traveling and trading again. Listen, let's just get right into it. I want to thank each of you for sharing this page with your friends and family, sharing this page and getting the word out. I just want to say that first, all right? But listen, I want to tell you guys this. There's a lot going on in this market, we always buy fear and sell greed, right? But sometimes there's a time to just sit still, and sometimes there's a time to do some profit taking. I did some profit taking yesterday. I shared it with you guys that I sold my rare earths and I sold USAR. I started with the USAR warrants, which we were up over 100%, closer to, I believe it was like 180%. I was up a lot. And it's just time. It was time to take profits. But I was just feeling leery about this market, and my indicator is pretty much on. So I checked the fundamentals and then I checked the chart. And it just seemed like this market just keeps going on, up and up and up. So myself and Stocks with Josh, he had called me one day, and then one day I called him. And for the last 3 days, we really been talking, well, last 3 calls over a few days. We've been talking about how frothy, meaning expensive, this market is. And never in the history of this market, should I say, in the history of me being in the market since 92, have I seen this market like this. And some will say the .com. Yes, you've been hearing about it. This does remind me of the .com. Except one of the things that people don't talk about, there were some good things that came from the .com, right? The internet, Google. Look at. I want you to Google all of the companies that became or that gave birth during the .com, and I believe that we will have far more companies give birth even through this AI. We just have to be strategic in finding what those stocks are. Now, I did a ton of selling today, and it was in the area of quantum computing. And I sold a lot of quantum computing. Guys, I sold, I'm not even gonna go to the charts. I sold some Rigetti. I sold some QUBT. I sold some QBTS. As a matter of fact, I sold just about all of my quantum computing stock. I sold the warrants earlier. And here's what I want to tell you. My money movers are my witness. The NASDAQ was going up. The Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ was going up while quantum computing stock were cooling off. They started to really cool off in the morning. And I was up. So I'm here on the West Coast, so I had to be up even 2 hours earlier. But I was up 2 hours before the market. And I was really looking at the charts. Man, I just had this gut that we were nearing the top and time for another pullback. So I started selling. And anybody in Money Moves, you were getting dinged literally every 5 minutes. I would sell. And everybody's like, Larry, what's wrong? And, but I just also want to tell you that the Rigetti warrants, not the warrants, the stock. The Rigetti stock that I sold, I was up 508%. And that's my message today. Bulls make money, bears make money, hogs get slaughtered. I've been slaughtered before. And then just when I thought I learned my lesson, I get greedy and get slaughtered again. But I learned my lesson some years ago now. And since 2020, I learned that lesson really well. And since 2020, I've been doing well, especially since 2021. I've been doing well. If you've been with me for a while, I sold just about all of my stock at the end of 2021. It was January of 2022. I said, guys, this market is too expensive and I'm taking profits. If you remember that, please leave me a comment. And we started to sell. I started selling and people started going, you're crazy. Why would you do that? You're stupid, all of this stuff. And in 2022, the entire year was just a bear market. Down, down, down. Well, are you saying that's happening right now? No, this is different. What I'm saying is that you need to look at the PEs and the earnings. You need to start looking at the balance sheets of some of these companies. Now, we knew from the get-go that all of these quantum computing stock didn't have any revenue. We were paying for the future. They didn't have any revenue, but there was a lot of money to be made. I started to sell when I was 100% up, then 2, then 3, then 4. I started to sell, and my average on all of these was over 200%. But I took profits. Now, Larry, what happens if it goes up tomorrow? Then I'm happy for y'all that it went up tomorrow. I let my people know that I was selling. Why? Bears make money, bulls make money, hogs get slaughtered. Now, the quantum computing stock were in a bubble. I've said that, but we were still buying because we trade the market that we are in. Now we have what? Cash. So if there is more of a pullback, and I'm worried, to be honest with you, and that trees don't grow to the sky. Remember that. Trees don't grow to the sky. And so my intuition said start selling, and I was worried about the pushback that I would get for the money movers, but they understand. They understand. Because where we sold, it started going lower and lower and lower. And what I'm telling you guys is you better learn how to set a trailing stop loss and or a stop loss, right? And remember this, it's not always gonna work. Stop loss is not always gonna work, because if you're in a stock that there's no buyers, then you could set a stop loss, it's going to just shoot right past it, okay? And then sometimes it'll shoot past and sell lower, but that's at least something that you could do. And I always say this, never be afraid to take profits. You never have to ask permission to take profits. Take profits often. You can always get back in. Now, the president was speaking today, and there was a lot of fear in the market. And I just said he was going to be speaking, but a lot of people thought it was going to be fear, and he was going to say something negative about crypto. I didn't report that to Money Moves, because I've learned you just better do some deep study before you say anything or even think anything. And it was about something totally different. Women that are having problems having children. That's what, I didn't watch the whole thing, but that's what it wound up being. And there's a lot of fear in crypto. Now, that same guy, and I'm gonna do a whole crypto video, but I'm gonna just wait closer to the weekend. But that same guy that's been shorting crypto, is shorting it again for the third time. And it has massive fear in the market. And I'm just gonna look at you right now and tell you that Bitcoin could revisit 100,000, and it could drop down to 100,000. When? By this weekend it could. And that I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just saying it could. And I'm just telling you that I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And if you have some dry powder, you have to do what's best for you. And if you can't take these flushes or what's going on right now with crypto, I don't know what to tell you, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. And there's a lot of shenanigans going on with the White House. I'm not saying, everybody's saying it's Barron Trump, somebody's saying it's Don Jr. and all of this. I'm not saying all of that. All I'm saying is that it's impossible for people to time the market. Impossible, unless they were in the White House. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to get political. You choose to believe what you choose to believe in. Okay. Some people are just in a river in Egypt called denial. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, but we're gonna focus on our money, and we're gonna make money. So I'm gonna recap and say Bitcoin could visit 100,000. It could go back down as soon as this weekend. That's what I'm telling you. If it don't happen, I'm thinking goodness like you too, because I have a lot of money in crypto and I still haven't sold. And I believe that the run is not over. That's what I believe, okay? And I'm only telling you what I believe. These are not facts, but it's what I believe. And I put my money where my mouth is, all right, good people? So I just want you to be aware of what could happen. But here's what you have to understand. For those that are new to Money Moves, for those that are new to this page, for those that are new to crypto, this is a good day for you. Because remember, when you buy an equity, a stock, or a crypto, or a store of value, or whatever it is, the lower you buy it, the better it is. For those of you that purchase, when you purchase something, managing risk is your number one job with your stocks and crypto. And not just thinking everything is going to the moon. Protecting your gains once you purchase, that's your job. And so I don't want you to get overzealous. Yeah, I'm gonna buy every dip. I don't buy every dip. I didn't do any buying today. Dow, the S&P goes up almost 200%. Then it turns around and tumbles that much. It tumbled as much as it went up. It was a bear trap, right? Some say a bull trap. I believe it's a bear trap. And there is some manipulation going on. And I'm not one of the ones that just say this. I've been doing this, 2,000 videos. I've been doing this a long time. There's absolutely some manipulation going on with stocks and crypto. But before you run in fear and go, oh, I'm gonna just sell my crypto, I want you to look and try to do a deep search and see what the institutions are buying. Because that's who I believe is behind crypto. I'm not talking about the stocks. I'm talking about crypto. That's who I believe is behind this downward pressure on crypto. Remember this, the V-shaped recovery was the most hated for stocks. As it pertains to crypto, it was hated that crypto has done as well as it did. Why was it hated? Because institutions missed out on it. And always remember this, institutions think it's absurd for them to pay the same thing you paid for stocks or crypto. And more institutions are getting into crypto, especially Bitcoin. So they're not gonna just buy it at a high price. They have to cause it to fall for them. They want the fear to run through the streets. So then you sell, we sell, and it drops down and they scoop in and buy. I'm not falling for it, okay? Help me to get this message out by sharing this video and all of my videos, but go to 3 to 5 people like you guys have been doing. And for you, the one that hasn't, I'm not even telling you to go into my links on this video and click one thing. The one thing I want you to do from this video is to go to 3 to 5 people, say, give me your phone, and subscribe to Larry Jones. Number one, I'm going to help protect your crypto and your stock. And number two, I'm going to continue to feed you guys and help you make more money, right? All right, love you guys. I am tomorrow going to be celebrating my wife's birthday. And she's 29 again, so says her. So I am going to take a day. I'm still going to shoot a video tomorrow, but tomorrow evening I'm going to try to take a little time off. But every day I feed the family. Do me a favor and share my page. I love you guys for real though. This too shall pass, and we're going to continue to make money. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Share me.